Well, here we go. Taking a look at Train. That final shot there, the winning moment for NRG. They win their map pick. It was Selfless who started off with the victory on Overpass. That was their pick, and we've gone all the way now over to Cash. That's map 3 that's coming up. I'm Helium, with me, Launders. What do you think going into map number 3?
You know, I expected Selfless to be able to lose, but after seeing them play and seeing how NRG, I don't know, I feel like watching NRG shaky performance on Overpass is like shaking my faith in them a little bit. Them on Train as well, it feels like Selfless had a lot of good things to say about their Train, and then at the same time, NRG played extremely well as well, and they had that strong lead to start out with, but moving into Cash, I'm not so sure anymore. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, so definitely a few shaky moments there from NRG. Even on Train, it wasn't completely convincing. Although Overpass was still close, right? They did bring it back. They grinded it out into an overtime. But I think the big point is that Selfless have shown us that they do have some individual skill. They've got the talent. They can hit their shots, and they have brought it over onto map 3. But going into Cash, it's not actually a map that either of these teams play all that much, and it's actually the one map that Selfless got completely crushed on by SK Gaming. SK winning 16-1 over at the Sivo Gfinity land.
It seems like they're just not ready for Europeans though. Like we saw Ryu or Rio say that Euros play like CS just so much better, and they had no chance against them, which just doesn't really make that much sense in the sense that teams practice over here, and then if they just do well over here, they'll still stand up to Europeans. It's not like they play a completely different game. It's still Counter-Strike. The fundamentals are still there. Getting 3 or 4 rounds of map, there's no excuse for that, right? So it's mainly just from the perspective of them not playing well that has resulted in those losses. But now we see a much better team that's won a map. It did go to OT, but they closed it out, and they brought it back a little bit on their T side, and in my opinion have played less messy, I think, than NRG have. Like NRG on Overpass, I keep thinking back to the kind of weird decisions to make buys, and then some of the eco rounds that were converted both ways. But some messy CS I think we've seen in a couple of maps today.
Yeah, well, we'll see if it cleans up at all on Cash. You mentioned maybe Selfless struggling a bit against the Europeans, but then you got to keep in mind, right? We got a European, Gob B here, pretty much in charge of this team. Going on to Cash, do you think maybe the slow default methodical play on the T side of Cash from NRG might be able to just basically keep Selfless out of this map?
No, Cash is so wide open. It's as a CT, you're almost always going to take a fight. There's not a real easy way to avoid it. If we look at mid, there's you go sandbags or white box, but if you want to maintain mid control over something coming over the boost, right when they come over the boost, they can see all of mid, and you can see all of mid back. So there's a lot of fights that'll be taken on this map, and CT side, no one's safe on CT side just because you're on the CT side.
Oh,
wow.
Nifty! He had the angle preset and held it once the smoke went down, just started tapping, and he finds the head of Peter. Now Mitch at the Toxic Barrels trying to deny access there up the highway. I think that was Justin who took some damage. Now Mainline in the same situation. Perhaps smoke has gone down, but he's got the angle. He'll use all of his ammo for that one, forced to reload. Nifty up top now. Coming from upper. And Gabi the bomb has got onto the site. It's going to be getting planted, and they were thinking about maybe doing a counter boost into defense. Instead, flying through is going to be Mitch, and it's Legia underneath that finds 1. Justin as well, and Relics coming through gets 2.
Wow, how did Silent not trade that? I don't know if he just peeked late or what, but he decided to stay at checker box and not make any noise, and now he's actually looking for the flank. Can he get this headshot? He does finally do it. He actually got the first kill, and Gabi helped him out with the second, but wow, that was super close. 3 players in checkers, 2 come out, and the trades almost favor the CTs on the retake, which shouldn't happen most of the time, but either way, it's NRG to win the round. And I'm trying to think back to pistols, which it almost doesn't matter because a few have been converted at this point. Well, we actually have 5 SMGs on the board for SM.
I think it might be an even split because Selfless got to a 2-0 start on Overpass, and then on NRG they got a 2-0 start on Train. I can't remember the second half pistols, but here we go. Silent. We've got Selfless going for more or less an eco round. They've just upgraded the pistols. They've not gone for the armor. We'll probably see them do this 2 rounds in a row. As NRG, they get it to a 3-on-3 and a bomb planted here on the A site.
Yeah, it's actually a 3v3 situation. Makes you wonder if those buys are going to bite them in the ass a little bit. No armor on the side of Selfless, though, so that makes the that much more useless. Any little bit of aim punch is going to hurt them quite a bit. Mainline, though, gets taken down. Legia continues this killing spree, and Silent gets the third. Everybody pitching in on that 3v3 after plant.
Yeah, I mean, no reason not to go for the retake there because they didn't buy up much. Maybe if it was pistol and armor, they could have made a decision to save. But they try for it. And like you said, everyone on NRG getting involved there in the 3v3. So 2-0 start for them.
You run the risk of obviously having a better chance of losing the round versus a 4-set, but at the same time, if you win it, it pays off much greater. So there's a high risk, high reward situation for buying the SMGs versus saving players. And we see how that works out.
Yeah, still
for
3
NRG.
SMGs involved in this round, but it's Relics. Again, no armor here, just the pistols. So he'll get that first kill with the CZ onto Justin. Now Peter making sure he can't retreat out, but he does eventually get out. Peter will find one. Nifty to fall. So 4-on-4. Relics in mainline somewhat hurt, but Uber playing, well, this could be a pretty good spot here with the P250.
Yeah, that spot's only compromised by somebody opening up the door. So it's always good to play catwalk versus players coming out of A main, but the reason that you send someone door and you like to do a 4-1 is because that just clears these two spots instantly and leaves them exposed and doesn't allow you to play there. Much better angle for the door player than it is for the catwalk player.
And now as they are actually coming into the B site, it's going to be very important for Mainline to stay alive, and he's been so good in these desperate situations. He comes away with the first kill. Another player somewhat flashed, but it's Gob with a UMP that will take down Mainline. So 2-on-2. You can see Mitch barely holding on just on 12 HP. Ligia has spotted someone coming up, or can only expect the other one to be in CT. And the bomb hasn't crossed yet.
The bomb hasn't crossed yet. No, I don't know if the bomb will be allowed to cross. It looks like yes. I think they just want to play this after plant. Not much health to work with on Mitch, so Leggy actually trades places with his teammate on site and finds a really great after plant spot. This is going to be hard to defend against. And it seems after letting the bomb go down, we got a vent rotate coming out. Uber to take contact, and he goes down, and that's just going to leave Mitch in such a tough spot.
Yeah, Legia is so ready for that. As you said, they trade places. He gets into a fantastic post-plant situation. And then the last player there for Selfless was so low. I think that was Mitch. So
I'd like to
taken
see
down easily.
Yeah, I'd like to see Mainline just be a little bit more patient. I feel like he has always does a really good job. Is very likely to get the first frag, but as a solo site player, sometimes just dies. And I know that was an eco as well, so that's a round where you can take risks. But if he had stayed alive on the default plant and just killed players coming across headshot, which is a pretty good angle for him, while his teammates held him out through CT and Heaven, maybe just peeked when he died out of Heaven, they would have had a better chance of winning, actually. Because sometimes he gets the kill, has a lot of health, and then goes for a second, and I think it's costing them.
Oh, so
but he's probably using his discretion.
Oh, okay, thought maybe Peter was going to take that boost up over middle, but he'll take the op into A main instead. So a little bit of time having ticked off the clock. We can see just one player out there in Sunroom. I believe that's Silent, holding on to that part of the map. Lucky here looking to go through middle. And a look at the new vents. I don't think I've actually commentated Cash since the changes have come in.
Oh, I definitely haven't either.
And that vent will be broken, but Mainline with the extinguisher real quick, and I believe he just stayed up there. Now he does finally drop off. Here's the pitter-patter of the bullets, I think, from Silent. Just tries to peek out and does get the kill. So that's a nice way for Selfless to start off the round. It was over a minute off the clock before that first kill came out, but here's Gob getting one. Mitch, though, to trade it.
Bombs dropped outside of B. It's a 3v4 situation. NRG don't have a really good site to go to. They actually have checker control right now, so they're going to try to push in. This puts pressure on Mitch. The smoke goes down in CT, and there's someone rotating through upper. He's going to have to help out, and he doesn't pitch in. It's actually Peter to get a kill first. Nifty, though, and Mitch pitching in themselves and each getting a frag, and now there's one person alive, Justin, who gets shut down, and Selfless went around with man advantage in convincing fashion.
Yeah, Mitch doing a great job there on the site, just staying alive, letting his teammates post up, and they get some kills in the confusion as NRG are moving forward. So that is the first round now for Selfless. And you can see Mitch getting his 3K there. Starts off early with the kill onto Gob B, that trade in B main, and then finding two more there on the site. Yeah,
been a really good player so far. And it seems like NRG have quite an affinity for B at the moment. They've given it a lot of attention. They're posted up to, they're postured up to take it right now, and this is with full guns. So we see NRG just set up for 5-man takes quite often, or at least 4-1s with the one player being close, as opposed to being like a hard lurk on the other side of the map. They're usually just in the middle of the map, making sure no one can come on a quick flank, and that's Legia.
Silent looking back at his teammate. I guess he was waiting for the flash. Maybe he was going to run it backwards, but it hasn't come out yet. NRG early onto this one posted up pretty much everyone over at mid and B, but now they're starting to spread back out.
I wonder what caused this rotation back out when usually if you commit 5 players to one site, you plan to take it. Like that's how you know you plan to take it, because if not, it would have been much better to have your one player go out early, get information on the other side of the map, and just wait if you're actually defaulting. But if you posture up that many players, you usually want to do something there.
Oh, Mitch trying to stay on that angle that was going to be unexpected for as long as possible, but he was blind and they wrapped around. So Silent gets the opening kill. Mainline now does find one. Coming up the headshot angle, that's Justin. He goes down. Headshot for Mainline. Make it a double for him. Nifty posted on the angle with the op. And Mainline just staying alive. Will finally fall to Legia. Nifty still on the angle. And what do we have? Is there a smoke coming in? I believe. No, they're going to get him out with flashes. Although not forced to give up the angle. Now it goes in, but Blindy hits the shot anyways, so Legia's going to go down, and it's Peter. Again, in a clutch situation, 1 versus 3. He will arm that bomb. Actually, it's going to be the fake one. He tries to bait out that first peek, and he does, but he misses the shot. Now Molotov bouncing in. He'll go for the plant. He wants that money. Can they deny him this? No, they can't. So $800 for NRG. He misses another shot. And all right, maybe it won't matter. Relics will get $1,500 of his own dollars.
Got quite a few Selfless fans in the crowd actually cheering for that knife. Or maybe it was just the knife.
Yeah, it could have just been the knife.
Yeah.
Although I have actually seen some people Selfless shirts. We got some in the front row.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They definitely have a fan base, which is nice to see.
But Mainline boosting Mitch in the site, and then him committing to the boost, like crouching when he was flashing, then peeking back up. Maybe a little bit risky. They assumed the flash didn't actually mean that players were entering the site, but it did. And the problem is that once Mitch is spotted, no matter what kind of impact he has, they know exactly where Mainline is, right? Your teammate's that high up, they're clearly boosted on default, and so therefore Mainline's position is compromised. But he still gets 2 kills and helps out so much, tremendously in that round. Now the thing is that he died once again and allowed players to cross. If he got those 2 kills and stayed alive, I feel like what I'm saying is he's got the impact, and sometimes he turns like a kill into a sequence, but more often than not, he ends up dying before the round's over in situations where he has a lot of health and he could just stay alive even a little bit longer. You know, in a game that's about who makes less mistakes, I feel like that's something that can't be overlooked.
So you can see NRG on this round. Not really going for much armor. Gabi will. Legia also going for the utility. So they're going to try to get something done, and it looks like it'll be over towards B one more time. Mainline will take 1 shot and smartly fall back onto the site where he has been so good. Mitch up top might be taking first contact. Gets rather blinded, but able to take back up the angle. That nade could hurt if you let it go. Yes, big damage onto both Peter and Silent with that nade. Mitch still up here. Hoping for someone to peek. He'll be blind once more. Good use of flashes, making up a lot of ground here. NRG close to the site, but Mainline lining him up, finding a quick double kill. Gambi will take him out, and there's actually a dink onto Mitch, who's coming from the upper catwalk. Legia gonna push through. He's lined up 2 of his own with just the pistol. 3-on-2, man advantage. NRG. Relics looking the wrong way, misses the shot as he turns the spin, but Legia I think ran out of bullets. So Relics will take him out of the round now. 2-on-2. Relics is low. Gabi, oh wow, Justin going in, and it's Gabi. He picked up the rifle, he had armor, he finds a triple kill. Legia gets 2 crazy pistol frags, and NRG on a low economy round. Take it away.
What an awful round to lose. That's yeah, it was just so messy. Like, Mainline gets the 2 frags on A site, like immediately, insane 2K, gets killed, and that's because a lot of pressure was put on him. I don't even fault him for that. Again, he's getting 2 kills at B like every single round. I don't want to harp on him too much, but then like Legia pushing into CT and getting them both those P250 frags, and then Gabi getting a 2K on their eco, like that's just really bad. Literally 3v5 converted into a round win on a full eco.
Peter watching out at A main, and we've got 1 man back there in Squeaky as well. Mitch has gone aggressive here for Selfless out in the middle with that 5-7, trying to play those close angles. Justin looking for some spam shots through the door. Really much coming of that. Or not yet. That looks like it was about to be a headshot if you shot. Is Relics peek this? Is he going to try to fly in and push this? Like so close to the door?
Oh, it was open on him.
Yeah, Relics actually opened it first, so Justin knows that someone's close. And now he goes in, maybe because he hears the reload, and Relics with the drive-by frag with the CZ. Does get that. He's able to get out with an AK now. So man advantage for Selfless. And what a flash. Mainline's gonna go in with the 5-7, just getting the 1. He looks to his right, and there were 3 members of NRG. And I believe that was someone coming pretty quick on the flank. Relics playing at the boxes. Legia is gonna take him down. And be the first man into the site, and it was Mitch and Uber on the flank coming from Squeaky and A main respectively.
Look at these retake positions. Ideal spots. They're coming in through all the spots that the terrorists come through. That's how you know they're good retake positions. We have one person spotted. A forklift push into A main, gets traded out by someone coming from truck. That's Nifty with the op. Another player goes down, and now it's just God B on default. One of the toughest spots to be in. He's got to push for a kill and then look for a second to make it a sequence, but no, Nifty steals that up as well, and Selfless come away with another round. Initially, a really nice push from Relics to play off that sound to get that kill in Squeaky. Now, Squeaky is like a really annoying area because it's the spot that everybody knows you go to. Sometimes a spam kill comes through from either the terrorist or the CT, depending on who's lucky enough, but ultimately, it's a really safe area for terrorists to go to where they get to hear everything on A site with complete cover and the ability to peek out once in a while. So it's super annoying for CTs to have to deal with. And if you're able to deal with it, that's when you can say a lot about how well you're playing Cash, because Squeaky is one of those areas, just like Ivy, that's super important.
Here's a cop B with an entry frag. Mitch answering back with two of his own. Make it a third. Full blind. He'll get the headshot there onto cop B. Can he find a fourth? Getting pressured inside of Checker. Justin takes him out with the Tech 9. Legia moving forward. He falls to Relics. And now Uber coming over to help out. Actually, everyone is rotated over here. All three members of Selfless out there in CT. And it's just Justin with the FAMAS.
I think we're starting to see a breakout performance here from Selfless. That was nuts from Mitch. 3 headshots, 3 different shots. Wow. Like he let his Rico reset each time and just basically hit his first bullet. That was the only way he was able to get away with 3 kills on players rushing him on the site. Went above and beyond for his team in that round on the B hold.
And I believe the tactical timeout actually just came in
from NRG.
From NRG, so maybe feeling a bit flustered. It's pretty early, right? I mean, it's the one pause going pretty early as we've just tied up 4-4.
Yeah, it's just like the last 3 rounds have been rifles and they've lost them. And it was even last round that Selfless didn't even have that much that much weaponry. Like, as we remember, like Relics pushed through Squeaky with just a CZ. So doing a lot of good right now and just getting better.
So what can NRG talk about right now for their T side?
I think NRG, like, if they've really got like the conditioning, the discipline to play like a slow, methodical T side, they can always fall back on that, which is really nice. They'll probably never feel lost. I mean, they may be sharing what they have in terms of information on what player plays where and who to exploit. But I think for Selfless, what's really great is they've got a lot of the talent across the board shining through in their site holds. And I think where NRG need to focus their attention to more is mid and try to get mid control first and go into a split instead of 5-manning a site, which they seem to do so often.
Yeah, it was actually the slow default in mid control that I was really going to expect from NRG, just because, you know, you got the tactician and God B, like take that mid control and then you could work it either way off the information. Instead, we've seen a lot of just group play, or like death ball, if you want to call it that, going together, especially on the B site where they've been time and time again just shut down by mainline, who's been pretty fantastic, actually.
Yeah, yes. I mean, site holds have been really good for Selfless, and that's the name of the game right now. It's, well, do we want to hit the site off of a really nice pop flash, group up, and just try to trade the player on the site? Well, okay, but you have to trade them out, and it seems like more often than not, Selfless are able to get 2 kills apiece from their solo site player. And it's either been Mitch or mainline at B. So.
And we have seen NRG, they got out onto the A site, you know, fairly successfully, but then the flanks were in so quickly. We saw Mitch and Uber quickly on the flank, and Nifty still holding out with the op on truck, and it was just like a beautiful retake, you know, in that 3-on-3.
Yeah, you know what it is that I just realized? What NRG don't do that well on T side, or at least I feel like they're lacking in terms of their play for playing out so slowly. They don't do a good job of catching rotators, right? They make almost no effort to push a lurk out aggressively before an execute happens to try to open up the round or cause a rotate or even catch someone as the site's being taken. Like 5-manning is such, I don't know. It's not actually 5-manning the way they do. They always have Legia kind of like right behind them watching their flank, so it's still technically a 4-1, but it's as close to a 5-man as you possibly can get. And it seems like he always ends up having to come into the site through the same way because his teammates die.
Looks like Relics and Uber might be the ones to be tested now for Selfless. If we'll see NRG, can they get something from the power of the pause? Because they've got so many players. I think that's 3 players in A main, 1 looking out Squeaky. Silent this time will be the lurk, maintaining that mid control, making sure no one's going to push through. The door is going to get shot. Relics will take some damage for it, but he's able to back off.
Yeah, boosted on the box. I don't know if is he able to see the head right over that? I'm not certain.
What, for Uber?
Yeah.
Into A main?
No, from Squeaky, just over this box. Or do you have to actually be jumped up?
I'm not sure. I would think that you couldn't. But we can see NRG have backed off a little bit from their full A main control. They're going over for mid. Mainline's going to peek out there. He finds the first frag, but the trade immediately from Gob B. So we've got a 4-on-4 right now. 30 seconds on the clock. NRG going to have to decide to do something pretty quickly. We can see the bomb starting to transition back over towards A.
Yeah, 4v4 now. Bomb going through A. 2 people going to come out A main and then 1 through Squeaky. A couple of people on the site, and actually 2 committed to B, so no one's in vent, no one's in the CT rotate. That means a lot of pressure put on them right now.
And there's 1 man still coming up highway for NRG, but they're getting shut down. Bomb to be dropped. Relics is still alive. 2-on-2, 5 seconds. Bomb has been reclaimed, and the plan has started. Peter peeking out with that Galil, but it's Mitch to take him out. Now 1-on-2, everything on silent. He moves over to Forklift.
No utility. Very common after plant spot, but also very good, and that's why he's here. Looking for that first kill, but hasn't found it quite yet. Mitch actually gets the headshot first, and Selfless seal up another one.
Yeah, and it feels like Mitch and Mainline are really stepping it up so far on Cash. We've seen some very big multi-kill rounds from them as, well, that was the pause from NRG, and they lose that round.
Yeah, they do. They do go for the late mid control, right? They gave some attention to it. They decided to turn that in the 4v4. They went 1 for 1 at mid. That's perfectly fine. They get 1 player to white box, and then they go for the A main Squeaky highway split. It just ends up getting shut down. I mean, they tried to do it, it didn't work, and I think it's because Selfless had 2 committed to A, and I think if they realized that 2 players were actually on the site, they probably wouldn't have gone. Maybe they were expecting a truck rotator, or that they would be able to get that second kill on highway, but they weren't.
There's Gob B again, finding an opening kill with his CZ, so I'm doing that quite a bit on train, actually, as now Nifty, wow, maybe lucky to be alive, brought down to half HP, trying to pull up the op and get something done. He's the man this time that needs to stay alive on the B site, and he can't. Peter takes him down. Mitch did get 1 kill prior to that. He's moving, and he's already in the trash pit. He finds 1 in checker, almost getting another 2. We will assist on the kill with Justin, but it was Relics who got it, and now it's Legia 1 versus 2 on site with the op. Nade going in. He's got no armor here. Aim punch could be a real concern. He'll miss the first no scope, down to 9 HP, and Relics will get him. Looked like Relics was mid-flight when he hit that shot.
I was about to start pulling out my hair as if another eco was to occur, because I just would like to have a consistent way to analyze what's going on based on who's got more money, who's got better guns, like who's got better positions. But Goppy comes up with another entry on the eco and makes it look sketchy. But ultimately, they get a plant, they get away with it. That's probably more than they expected. It seemed like they were very close to winning the round at a certain point. But Mitch came out with a 2K with the help of Relics to seal up 3, and that's when the nail was pretty much as deep in the coffin as it could get. Now Selfless have a 2-round lead. They move into this one with the hopes of making it a 2-for-1. And NRG looking to focus their attention back to middle. Peter taking 50 damage off that nade. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a lot of damage early on. And we saw Peter was such a big force for NRG in both Overpass and Train, the first 2 maps of this series, especially Train, where we started off with like 11 kills by the time we got into like round 7 or something like that. Here he's only got 5. We're moving into round 11, so it's been a bit of a slower start for him. And also Justin, who wasn't really present on Overpass, with only 2 kills. Peter, ridiculous headshot there onto Relics. So that's a nice opening frag. And a turnaround for Peter, but Mitch will get out there and avenge his fallen comrades.
That was nuts.
They're actually going to keep going for this. They want to get that mid-control. Legia is still smoked off, but they've put another one up on the boost. That's Justin this time, and you can see Silent, again, maintaining that B main control.
Yeah, keeping presence over there, making so no one pushes B. Getting the Sunroom in such a powerful position B. They know that Mitch is under boost right now. This makes his position kind of tough. And he's actually moving in off of, oh, that's Uber. I don't even know how do you trade out someone that close to mid? Where did Mitch go? Back to B, I suppose.
Yeah, playing at the headshot angle that he's had a lot of success at.
Oh, they're picking the wrong site again, aren't they? Oh, Mitch is leaving, though, and now the B split is imminent.
Well, Mainline also over here. He's heading up behind the wooden boxes on site, and Mitch is still going to be supporting, right? He throws that 1 flash over. But it was kind of, it wasn't random, right? He just wanted to be able to take that angle back over, and he's up top. That first shot, or was that a smoke being thrown? Either way, Mitch gets 1, but they've both fallen now, and NRG taking full control of that. And you can see Nifty already heading over, running to the hills, looking to save this op.
It seems like Selfless got in their own head a little bit, actually left the site that they would have been happy to fortify because the split came out. And Mitch ended up in CT. 2 players on the site, I think, would have caught NRG way off guard. It's still not the best position to be in. Having checker control is really important, but it's much better than having 1 in CT and 1 on site, especially considering how easy it is to just smoke that off. But NRG seal up a really important round, save themselves from having to save if they lost. I think haven't recovered or maintained an op, so that's one thing that they maybe would like to have. Actually, the op is dropped on top of boost, so they should probably just go try to grab it, unless that's the one that Nifty found.
Pretty sure Nifty had his own. He might have even been watching that because he was hiding out at Squeaky. He might have been holding the angle out of that room towards where they would need to boost up. But important for NRG to get another round. However, now possibly in danger of getting reset. Where is the money? Yeah, it's not really great. Justin and Gabi have a decent amount of cash, so they might do some sort of Tech 9 force up if they drop this one.
Relic's happy to be on the CZ once again. Attention's being focused towards B. This is like 3 inside B, no counter boosts coming out of vents. There's no one on highway right now. Like mid is completely forfeited, and it's because they're pushing B. This makes a lot of sense. Though Silent finds the first kill on A. Somehow, spammed it.
Yeah, it was through the door. He takes that, and he's got more damage onto Relics, who went over to, I think, maybe pick up the kit, some of that utility. Oh, and also the op, because again, he started the round on the CZ, as you mentioned, and he took more than half HP for that. Door open now, so they can't fly out. Peter clears that angle first with his op. Oh, Relics does actually go out as the Molotov's flying towards him. He takes down Gabi. Now they're smoked off of A main. They're starting to run out of Squeaky. Relics dumping all of his utility right now. Will flash himself, but he's flashing them as well. And he'll take it up his new position over there at quad. Silent looking to maybe go over the red box as Legia moving around it. Finds one. Mainline to trade him out.
Wow.
Silent, that was too much to deal with. Saw 2 people on each corner of his screen, and now Peter left in a 1 versus 3. He's killed Mainline. So it's up to Relics and Mitch to secure this round. Peter does not have the bomb yet either, so it's going to be difficult for him.
Yep, this 1v2 we've seen him in so often. It's really not up to the CTs to peak, though, but they have to take a fight eventually, and Mitch has a really good angle for it. Relics, man, that was a really nice round from him, those 3 kills. After taking that initial nade damage, standing strong when the Molotov was getting thrown at him, and then getting that opening kill, turning it into 2 more, only taking like a 10 more damage, something like that, staying alive at quad until the end of the round. He was definitely the hero there, left solo on the site after his teammate died, so well played from him, and nice op shots.
I'm digging this Kylo Ren in the audience. Hopefully we get some more camera shots on that one. That's pretty sick. But yeah, 7-5, big round there. Definitely from Relics. Mitch and Relics kind of dominating the scoreboard right now for Selfless. Both having really, really good games. And Relics, you can see, taking that aggressive posturing, looking into Squeaky.
You'll always see that when a team on CT side is having like, has a good amount of rounds that like a player on each side of the site, or each side of the map, excuse me, has a good amount of kills. So they usually end up angering, and they're required to get 2 kills, and those 2 kills will almost always result in rounds.
Well, you can see Gabi. Looks like he's lining up a smoke. Peter, meanwhile, just kind of watching. Yeah, that smoke's going to be over to the Z connector there in middle. Meanwhile, Mainline has killed Silent. That was the one person for NRG holding on to that side of the map. So they've lost the control there. That means Selfless. I mean, the door's open if they want to start going on a flank, but they'll just play the man advantage and keep it safe.
Well, looks like the late retake at mid, or peek at mid, might come from Mitch. Player at white box to take some damage while almost turns around and gets the frag. Mitch turns it into 2, though. That's some really good shooting.
Yeah, the first kill not so much on the shooting, but limited on bullets. He gets out and gets that second frag really, really quick. He was on low HP as well, just 4. He finds that. Mainline going to fall in the B site, and that's Justin. Location now known, coming out of Checker. And they've got bomb control in middle, so Selfless. They don't really need to budge right now.
I'm happy to be watching catch right now. It seems like I don't know, overpass and train were a little bit messier, but this is a lot tighter of a map, and Selfless, the fact that they're able to come back from losing the pistol to bringing it to what looks like 8 rounds now after Justin's going to be forced to save is quite impressive.
Counter-terrorists win.
Yeah, so overall, very impressed with certainly Mitch and Relics right now. Selfless overall looking good, and actually I'm a little surprised that NRG have not been able to find that much success on their T side. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, playing their advantage is the one thing, but it seems like I don't know, they could have started off with using middle more, and even the later rounds, I feel like they rely on the sight hits too much, and I don't know if they're not patient enough or they don't feel comfortable enough. Wow, Nifty off the corner of that smoke. That wasn't even a bad smoke. He just lined that up and
he did that
strong
on the pistol as well. Remember,
yeah,
with the USP through that. He just has the angle. And great timing from him. Meanwhile, Mitch will kill Peter, and then Justin to bring down Mitch. Gabi so blind and moving so slow. He's tagged up. Nades now coming onto the site. as Mainline just trying to survive, somehow still up. Finally, Justin is going to take him down. Gabi looks to have pushed the smoke into CT, but on low HP, Uber has no problem dealing with that one. So NRG with just 2 players up against the 3 of Selfless. Silent already hiding out in Checker. He's ready for the post plant. Justin has the bomb, but still taking his time to get up onto the site. We'll throw that flash so that he can jump over. And yeah, he wanted to get to that back wall so that he could actually plant for Silent. So well done there, and Silent long range with the Galil takes down Uber. And Justin gets nifty from B upper, so now it's all just on Relics. 1 versus 2, hits a 6 shot there into Justin. Pulls out the CZ and actually is just going to push the smoke. He's in it now, jumping out, does not realize Silent's right there behind him with that Galil, and on 15 HP, he wins that round for NRG.
Wow. And man, I gotta say, like, it's really interesting to watch. Like, if you've watched the game for a while now, you see like this pop flash from CT be so common into B site, and it's because like everyone's taught to run through the site and run up headshot. Pretty much everybody, it's the best way to get the site. You get a really nice headshot angle. You can clear defaults, sandbox, oranges, and you're the farthest away from oranges without having to deal with a crossfire. So everyone does that. And now what the common defense is to simply like have your solo site man on default and then just have a flash come in through heaven, and he'll just check the left side because that's where everyone goes.
Well, Uber, does take down one, got the AK in his hand, but Justin takes him out, and this is the last round. That's why Selfless has just gone for buying as much as they possibly can, which was pistol and armor. Mainline coming away with 2 with that 5-7. And we have Relics being taken down. Op headshot from Peter. Nifty moving through A main, or mid main rather. Molotov will chase him out, and it's Peter underneath the boost on the CT side of middle that finds Nifty. So it's all going to be on to Mitch, but he does have what I would say kind of his signature weapon these days, that Deagle.
Yeah, I like this decision to give up mid. Winning that duel versus 2 players who are going to come out and most likely focus their attention on him was probably not a good idea. He's got to make a decision as to what site that they're going to go to, and it looks like they're actually walking right up to him, so he's made a good decision here.
Yeah, Mitch was able to find an AK. And both these guys on about half HP. You can see they're just using the buddy system.
Oh, into CT in case he decided to take a rotator spot. But no, he's committed. Walk through A main as well. This is kind of awkward. He's really far from B now, and he's making his way over, but at least he has peace of mind. And no, he's starting to walk back. Just assuming they could have gone anywhere. Pretty much just gotta gamble.
Yeah, I thought he might continue to push through, but I guess in his mind, he's like, all right, I might as well be on one of the sites. That way when it's planted, he knows, and he will know in a second. So Mitch can now make his very long rotation over to the B site. These NRG players are going to be able to be anywhere. Vent's not broken. Let's see if he breaks it. He will. So they know where he's coming from. They've heard that, but he's able to drop down. And it's Mitch that's been so good on this map. Can he do this? 1 versus 2. Does have a smoke. That'll be for the CT cross. Again, he's got no idea where these players are. He might have heard some bullets from one on the site. And he actually does find Peter, and he nearly takes out Justin as well.
Holy smokes. Let's go.
Oh, that's an NT.
That's an NT. You can get an NT in chat for Mitch. Valiant effort. Really nice. Well played, though. NRG managed to sustain themselves. 7 rounds in this half, and they move into the next half, you know, with looking back at some mistakes, right? Some close rounds, some mistakes, maybe a lack of depth of playbook, but Selfless themselves probably could have surmised the better half because of that, and couldn't quite do it. Overall, had a really good mid-half, I'd say, and one of the things that NRG also had going for them is the fact that they came away with the pistol, didn't lose the anti-eco, converted into 3, right? So trading pistols might be critical here for Selfless.
Yeah, but that actually says a lot to Selfless's half. Getting the 8 rounds and having not won the pistol, that's pretty good. And I would say even though it ended 8-7, I felt a little more comfortable watching Selfless in the first half as opposed to NRG on their T side.
Definitely.
So just 1 round separating. And as you mentioned, it may just come down to what happens here in the second half pistol. 4 Kevlars for both teams. Legia utility for NRG, and it'll be Nifty with the utility for Selfless. As look at this, just walk through middle right now from NRG. 3 people committed to that, and Nifty spots them first. He finds 1, he finds 2, nearly getting a 3rd, but it's Silent finally having some sort of a response. Mainline now going in. He's going to wait for his teammate, I think, to come through spawn, and that's Mitch, who, okay, is the distraction. Mainline still finds the kill. And Gabi going to look to get aggressive, but it looks Uber is going to catch him. Oh! No! Gabi with the flick! You thought surely Uber has the jump, and then on the retreat out, Gabi gets another. Relics maybe regrets opening that door, and we've got a pistol round on our hands. It's actually come back down to a 2-on-2.
Don't wake the sleeping giant.
Peter's going to break the vent, so they'll hear that one. Actually, both coming through the vents now. It's going to be the brawl in the checker room, and Mitch gets the first and second kill.
Mitch is on fire.
Yeah, Mitch
he's got
is playing
over
so
20
well.
kills so far. We're only 17 or 18 rounds into the half, or 17 rounds into the half, and he's got I'm pretty sure over.
Here's Nifty starting him off. Those long-range Glock kills, just the controlled shot, and then God B. Don't get it from his perspective, but what a flick, man. And that shot nice as well on the retreat out. That made it interesting, but it's still Selfless that comes away with that round win.
That was beautiful. And here we have the traded pistols, and as you mentioned, Selfless had a great half in spite of losing their pistol. Now take this one and still have a lead, and already have a lead. And there it is, Mitch, 21 frags so far. Definitely his best performance so far.
Yes.
In LAN, maybe his best and most important match. So potentially nerves not an issue, which is something that haunts a lot of players.
Yeah, and Selfless, I mean, already in this series, they've got their first map on LAN. Maybe they can get their first series on LAN as well. Nifty waiting for that B push. He'll take some damage there, fall back. NRG don't gain much control from that. Or even that much information, because there's pretty much always someone watching that. And mid control taken from Selfless.
Yeah, important not to get too stranded here, because they know that NRG just don't have that much money to spend. Like, an A split is cool, but if you have someone getting caught out without getting a kill or giving up a gun, it's not worthwhile at all. And the bomb's actually out middle too, which I don't like at all. Okay, if it goes vent.
Well, there's Mitch with 22 as he gets that frag onto Justin. And NRG, somehow, some way, they've had a lot of success on their kind of full eco rounds. But this one not starting off well for them. Peter is well fighting aim punch, so Relics finds him as he hops around the corner with the UMP. Mitch looking for another. Lights up one player in CT spawn, but can't quite finish off the kill. Gabi from up top. It'll be Nifty to erase him.
Silent LMS goes down, and Selfless take away another round. It's looking up. We haven't seen a rifle versus rifle. That's the most telling, obviously. That's what everybody's waiting for, to see if NRG can bring their way back into this after Selfless has taken a lead in the third map in the second half. It could be close to over. It might not be. It's hard to say. Not so much data on these teams on Cash.
We got the one nade for God B. At the rest, it's just going to be a push. Everyone going in at 2B. And it's Mainline making first contact with the MAC-10. He wanted to make that money, but instead it's Legia first kill of the round. And NRG, they get the first kill there. They're just sticking together. They are running the death ball strat. Spreading out a little bit as they get back over to A. Some going through Z, and that's actually, what was that? Peter coming through that smoke. Uber takes him down. And then God B with a quick pistol frag. What's up with the God B in these pistol entries?
Yeah, his USB versus head armored opponents with AK entries.
It's insane.
he's got so many.
And then Uber grabs a triple there to close out that round, making sure it doesn't get too messy. So now we get to finally see this first rifle round. Also, one of your signs is upside down. There you go. He was fixing it.
Here it is. The rifle v rifle. Uber the Galil, Peter with the op. A little bit of an advantage now for NRG moving into this round, but it's because Selfless have money to blow. They weren't about to drop a gun, and here they are trying to trade out the middle kill. They do. Mainline gets that frag with the headshot. Now Silent. A lot of pressure being put on him on highway. Will he find this kill? He's going to have a flash come out right in his face. He's not going to be able to surmise the kill for it, and now he goes down.
And I thought God B might have a bigger impact there since he was counter boosted into the vent, but he was still dealing with the player who was up on the boost. So everything goes 1 for 1 out there in middle. We've got an even man round, 3-on-3 right now. Justin maintaining some A control there, and God B, nicely done. He'll take down Relics, and they have found the bomb. So things going well now for NRG here in round 19.
Oh, it's an impossibly different round now for Selfless. The bombs drops. They've got the man advantage here.
Well, there's Peter with the op. Again, just holding down the angles, making sure they can't get out to the bomb. Nifty trying to slide around, coming into mid-main from the T-spawn side, but they were ready for it.
Another round where the bomb goes up middle, and I guess it's a worse spot to be in if they had any idea of where they wanted it to go. And of course, there is the potential where they didn't know where exactly the better site would be. to fall. They probably were just following frags. If they get the two quick picks at middle, then it's obvious that, okay, we got one person left at A, we should probably just split A right away. But if they get the one kill at middle, it leaves things up in the air. That's maybe when you wait for a rotation, just try to get a little bit more info. And so there's good reason to have the bomb out mid if you thought maybe we were going to go B at the beginning of the round, but they're having Relics run back, put the round in jeopardy, and we saw why.
Selfless, though, did get off to a very good start here in the second half, so they'll have money once more. As Nifty going to be lining up a smoke here. That will allow main line to creep up a bit further. This is a block off the angle of Peter, you would assume. Yeah, they'll throw in a smoke of their own, and okay, Peter not going to challenge that, just flashing through to delay them up a little bit more. I'll take up his new spot inside of the site.
That B main smoke is just common practice because all it does is bait out utility. It's like throwing the Olaf smoke on long B on Cobble. It's like you throw that smoke, you immediately get a reaction that costs a lot more money than just your $300, no matter what happens. And you have to respect it because if you have no one in checker, you have to assume that someone is going to be there abusing that smoke in some way, even if they aren't. So it's always good measure to throw that B main smoke from T side.
Oh, and it's going to be Legia to get the first kill of the round onto Uber. It looks like Sandbags went unchecked. Now the smoke and a flash so that Legia can get out of this position. That flash is actually a big part of that, but he doesn't know that someone's... I think that was that Relics from the vent that got him. Someone was also under the boost.
That was like super greedy from Legia, I feel like.
Yeah, I would agree. And Peter in the site, they know he's here now. I think maybe even flashing himself a little bit. Gabi very, very blind, but holding down the angle is able to get one. Peter hits a shot from inside, but it's mainline coming in with two. Mitch getting one before that, and now Justin, the hope of NRG on this round, 1 versus 2, coming over on B upper. The bomb has crossed over, now just going down. It's on that back wall. Mainline not even going to budge after having planted it. He knows he's set up the bomb for Mitch, his teammate, in the back of checker. And hearing the drop, Mainline reacts.
That's a perfect way to play the 2v1 when someone's coming from upper or CT and you know it. You have someone in Sunroom, or not Sunroom, excuse me. You have someone in B main watching the headshot run up, and then you have your default boss guy not peeking headshot or upper, just holding the cross to B main, so that you know that no one can get to checker and no one can get the headshot, and it's from all the wrong angles. So there's no way that those will be cleared, and it's so easy to guarantee that kill. It would have been a horrible mistake to peek upper or peek like CT from default boss. That's matchmaking stuff.
And now NRG reset. Justin does have some Kevlar, a couple flashes here on some players. Silent taking a little bit of damage early on, but that's just because he keeps aggressing into A main there. Mitch finally going to take him down through the box. Legia maybe still someone to watch here with the 5-7, but no, Uber moving in and deleting him very, very quickly. Mid control now and man advantage for Selfless. Looks like they're going to be wrapping this one over to B.
It's probably a good time to talk about why that was like a bad play from Legia, because he was a lone man at mid, right? They were even on kills. He saw one player in vent, and he assumed the one thing he did wrong, first of all, is he assumed no one was there to trade. The other thing was that he had to run about 5 seconds to get his first kill in vent and assumed no one was going to be there in 5 seconds. And then also, the fact that you're retaking mid without any help is something you're doing completely by yourself, and you're putting your team at risk. So that's just a third reason why what he did really just didn't make a lot of sense.
All right, well, looks like Uber trying to secure the exit strategy off of the B site here in the CT side. He's found a couple of those pesky pistol players, and as a result, they'll make the decision to exit out the other way. Nifty just... Oh, he actually did tag him through the wall. He spotted him dropping out of vents. They know where he is. Peter and Gabi actually each getting kills. Gabi finally cleaned up. And now Mainline looking to get out of dodge here before that bomb goes off. He should be good, yeah. Justin going to go back in and try to scavenge for something. He'll find a Molotov.
Hyped up. They're so close. They could taste it, and for good reason. They basically got one more round. If they win the next one, they could put yourself on match point just like that. Selfless have got to be excited. And this is a tough climb for NRG, who are trying to make it out of groups here.
Yeah, NRG have also already used their pause, right?
Yeah.
They used it very, very early on, going into, I believe it was round 9, where we were tied up 4-4. And Mainline, wow. Already into checker. So much control here for them on the T side, and Relics has come away with the first kill onto Legia. Mainline now moving up. He takes Gabi off the site. Relics with the second on the round. There's Peter. Takes a lot of damage for it, but he does get the first kill. And then through the smoke, it looks like Nifty brings down Peter, and it's Silent on the wrong side of the map with just a FAMAS. A couple nice hops, but that's not going to win you the round.
There's some insane frags coming out from Selfless right now. They're looking sick, honestly. Well, like just the entries. Nifty's constantly lining up these smoke shots where he just posts up and has such a good sense of timing that he gets the kill. Oh.
KZ fans everywhere were hoping for that string of
KZ
jumps.
fans' hearts dropped simultaneously as he fell off of the E-box. And now, NRG moving to the next round as our cameraman is trying to show us that without any money, they just are basically have to succumb to being on match point or having the worst, most broken buy ever and just hoping they win it off of forts, which honestly is a pretty bad decision, but at the same time, they've got so many rounds to come back from. They might feel defeated. They might feel like they've got something in their back pocket, and they just don't want to have to do it from match point. I can totally sympathize with that logic in this situation, but at the same time, giving yourself the best chance to win a round and then coming back and doing it is what a pro would do. It looks like, they're just going to be forcing up. Getting to match point can be super stressful, and having such a big hill to climb, maybe when you're not confident in the first place, could be too much to deal with. And they also have the AK of Silent to go off of, so that's one thing.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be the big factor on the round. Silent with that AK, if he could get it done. Saw a couple rounds in day one where someone that saved an AK or someone that saved an op came away with a massive round to show for it. A lot of utility for NRG that they actually did buy into this round because they went for those 5.7s on most of the players, but they've already used quite a bit of it. And meanwhile, Selfless have almost all of theirs. Everyone has a smoke and a Molotov right now. And I imagine they will be used. They've got to have a bit of a read on NRG's economy.
Yeah, basically, all Selfless are thinking is best case they have armored pistols, or best case they are simply full saving, but I think it's even better for them to think, okay, if we win this round, we basically win right away. So they might have peace of mind no matter what at this moment, but either way, just don't want to blow it because we've seen them blow it in the past. They don't have perfect anti-ecos.
Well, Relic's trying to get something done here from Squeaky. He's opened it up. You can see one player for NRG sliding up on the catwalk through that smoke. Relics will deal with that. That was Legia, but it goes 1 for 1 as Silent on the site finds that kill. Now Mitch lurking around in the smoke as well, pushes over to the truck side, sneaks up on Gabi, shoots him in the back, turns onto Silent, Mainline getting involved as well, kill onto Peter, and Justin also shot in the back. They were not expecting Selfless to be that far up towards the truck.
I personally wouldn't have expected that either. That's just like, I'm not even sure what they were, if that was part of the strategy or if they were just banking on the confusion favoring them, or maybe they got a little anxious because they lost man advantage, but Mitch coming out at the right moment, catches someone watching their back, and then also helped his teammate get a frag and then a third on the round. I mean, nice, I guess. They did. They came away with the kills. Maybe it was part of the strat. It just seemed like, having to run through a smoke was running a risk, but they were down a man.
And Peter going down early on this round. That's a dangerous flash. Gabi tries to get something done with the shotgun. Saw too many. There's one. There's two. Can he line it up for the third? Putting in some damage, but finally he ran out of shotgun shells. Now Justin over the top with the 5.7, finding one and trying to drop to get the second, but he can't do it. It's Silent left in a 1 versus 2. He's got the op. And enough utility here for Selfless. They should be able to cross safely into the B site if that's what they want to do. But again, there's so much time available to them right now. Maybe they're watching the vents. I thought maybe for a second they're thinking about the counter boost, but then that would mean, of course, they would split up.
They got lots of utility. They can re-smoke CT. Yeah, this puts Silent in a tough spot. No one's going to give him this frag. If he peeks out of heaven at the right moment, he might be able to catch someone jumping up, and they've got to be aware of this. But oh my god, that could be a huge risk though. Relics actually secures the kill, and Selfless win the game 16-8.
Either way, Selfless, they take it. Let's, the 2-1 there, winning their pick of Overpass. Playing all right on Train. NRG a bit more dominant there, but Selfless not only winning their first map on land, but now winning their first series and knocking NRG out of the tournament.
That's got to feel good. That's got to feel good. And also, players performing that weren't performing in the past. I mean, everything's starting to click now for them. They take down a big rival of theirs and put themselves in the top 4, right?
Yeah, they will be the top 4. I think they move on to play Liquid. Top 6.
Right. They have Decider coming up, of course.
I don't know how brackets work. But that's amazing. You see the handshakes going across right now. I'm sure that feels great. And of course, I think the most standout thing in the series overall was just something that was ridiculous, something that should have never happened. But with the technical difficulty there for Relics in the mid-round, clutching out on Overpass in such an important round, That gets them through map number 1. Really good stuff from Selfless, and also just Mitch, man. What a performance there in Cash.
Yeah, I think a lot of doubts were had about Mitch from a lot of people, and he pretty much put those doubts to bed. You know, this is the most important map they've had so far. It was a decider map in this series, and he performed out of his mind. So, yeah, shout out to Mitch.
Maybe we can ask Relix about that one round, because he's up on stage now with Smix for an interview.
Thank you very much. First of all, congratulations, Relix. That was definitely a grind for you guys. Let's jump right into map 1. It was a really solid start from you guys, and then things got a lot closer, went to overtime. You even had mouse issues, so let's talk about what a grind that was.
Yeah, it was a pretty chaotic map. We got ecoed twice, which is pretty, bad for our economy, and Uber's computer restarted, it crashed, my mouse died mid-round, it's kind of just a map filled with issues, but we were able to grind it out into overtime and, take it there.
All right, and then I want to just go into that third map, because that was also back and forth, especially the first half seems really close. It ended 8-7. First, NRG started with 3 rounds on their side, and then it felt like you guys were just getting retake after retake. What do you think it was that clicked for you guys that just wasn't going for them?
Because of teams, how they tend to take A or B with either a B molly strat or 4 smokes A when they're just flashing through smokes, we were kind of trying to play a more defensive style. We just gave them this site, let them use all the utility and retake with nades. Cash is one of those maps that most people consider CT-sided, but it's not as heavy as a Train or an Inferno or something. So we probably would have liked more rounds CT side, but getting that T-pistol helped us, close out the half.
And earlier when I spoke to you, you were saying how this is your guys' time for redemption, how you talked about the growing pains of playing on LAN. But today, you guys are definitely looking more comfortable than you looked yesterday. So do you think that your experience from today as well as yesterday can aid you guys in that rematch coming up against Liquid?
Yeah, I mean, this was the first BO3 LAN, BO3 win on LAN as this 5 since we've been Selfless. I think that experience is a big key into us growing as a team. Especially with players that don't have much LAN experience, just getting them, kind of accustomed to the environment and being able to get in their comfort zone. This is Mitch's second LAN, and he's playing much better than at Gfinity. So I think experience will probably be the biggest factor as far as us growing as a team, and now we're looking for revenge versus Liquid.
So obviously that's going to be coming up after our next match with CLG and Cloud9. How are you guys going to take this time between now and then? Obviously you want to do as much preparation as possible, but what does that look like specifically for you guys?
I mean, we know we've played Liquid online, in CEVO, in ESL. We know how they play. I mean, we prepped for, the original best of 1 we had versus them. So since this will be a BO3, the map pool will be a little bit wider. It's not just going to be vetoing down to the last map. So we'll probably take a bit more of a selective look at what maps we might want to play, rather than just focusing on one. Other than that, maybe a nap in the room, in the Twitch player lounge. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It has been a long day, but congratulations. You guys are still in the tournament. You have a chance later against Liquid. Of course, that means that 2 teams are out already. It'll be Splice and NRG that unfortunately have to go home. But for now, we do have a very, very exciting match coming up. It'll be CLG and Cloud9 that will be starting shortly. But before we get carried away, let's head back to the desk and talk about this match.
Thanks very much, Sue. I mean, he said it himself, and that's a really nice nice benchmark for Selfless. Their first best of 3 win in a LAN environment since they became under that Selfless tag. And it was a big one as well. NRG taking it to the full 3 maps. However, it does feel like it wasn't the prettiest CS, Yanko. You were having a heart attack actually watching some of that Counter-Strike.
This game went to overtime. I'll probably get a brain aneurysm or something. The amount of mistakes we see in this best of 3, it's pretty astonishing. I mean, the same things keep repeating over and over again. Okay, you can break it down map by map, and the anti-force buys, that anti-eco rounds that Relix mentioned, but it's not just about that. It's in a bunch of gun rounds, in the most important crucial rounds where both teams are low on money and whoever wins forces the opposing team to reset. There's just individual plays where it's reckless play, undisciplined play, over-aggressive play for no reason. Players do initially a good job. They get the entry kill maybe or the 2 kills, and then instead of just playing it safe, playing proper fundamental Counter-Strike and securing the round for their team, they just go on a tear for some reason, which is I just can't get my head around it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will struggle to understand it. I do just want to address while it is on screen, Gob B, a point I wanted to hit a little later on, but just while you can see that number, it does feel a little weird to see your in-game leader delivering on all fronts in the fragging department.
I hate stats, and I don't like talking about players based on stats, but you look at Gob B and Justin in this particular. Justin is the player who online is the star player of this team. It's an extremely skilled player, aim-wise, mechanically good player. He's the one you expect to perform on land for his team, be the driving force for them. Gob B, on the other hand, is an in-game leader. He's obviously, I mean, if he gets the kills, it's good, but it's not his primary role, right? He's there to support the team, make everyone else play better because of his own calls and his read of the game, right? And I know talking with them that they are pretty humble and they know that they need more experience on land.
Sure.
And I just hope that this will, in the next maybe couple of months, that we will see a change in this picture, that we will see Justin step up his game on land, because it's something that his team needs in order to get to the next level.
And on the other side of things, Selfless. I mean, those individuals, these, again, in a similar situation to Justin, those guys delivered. Who was it particularly for you two, that kind of stood out to you? I mean, all eyes were on Mainline coming into this. Did he live up to expectations?
Well, Mainline was actually really good on Overpass when the CS was definitely the messiest, as Yanko was pointing out. Like, the first maps, Train and Overpass, got a bit ridiculous. But once we got onto map 3, Cash, I mean, Mitch was just going off at both sides. He was holding onto that B site so fantastically. Then when he got into the T side, he just opened up everything, it felt like.
And just while we're on the topic of Cash, I do want to... Sorry, you go. Actually, you go. You make your point.
No, I was just going to agree with him. Like,
Okay.
I think we see the same thing. Like, Mitch just played really unreal in the third map, but Mainline was also doing a really good job. But it's kind of like, it's like Mainline would get the 2 kills, and then he would die when he would have like full HP and didn't need to die, you know? He could have turned it into the 3rd kill, and that would have been cool, but he really would have had way more value getting those 2 kills than just standing still. And we did see those like individualistic plays come out. Even if it didn't cost them rounds, it's like those tendencies are what are going to cost you in the long run, right?
Bad habits, right? This is what we talk about in North American Counter-Strike.
That's the problem here. Most of the time it goes unpunished, right? Because everyone's playing the same style and it's just a coin toss. Okay, this time it's going to work. I'm going to push through a smoke or flash myself in and go for this play. Next time it's not going to work, and you know, maybe we're going to win, maybe we're not. But with teams improving, and especially, you know, the Brazilian teams coming in as well, who are much more disciplined. That's the main reason, alongside with firepower, obviously, why they're just dominating this region, because they don't make those plays. They're disciplined. They know how to play their advantages. They know when they're in a disadvantage and need to take a risk, but they know when they're not, and there's no need for plays like that.
And I mean, how do you learn that, though? This is what North America has not had an answer
trial
for.
and error, obviously, but it's taking a long ass time.
Yeah. Certainly, you had a point, Joey. Do you want to make it now?
Oh, it was again falling back over to Mainline, right?
Okay.
We saw him do great on Overpass, and he played pretty well there on Cash. But it was Train where Laundry was kind of talking about. Well, you said on Cash he could have got those 2 kills and maybe just stayed alive a bit longer. But on Train we actually did see him really struggle when he was the lone man on the inner bomb site. He died first in a lot of the rounds. I mean, he made up for it sometimes, because when they were like 3v5, Mainline just seemed to just go off, and he was playing like a man on fire, bringing him back in rounds they had no business winning. But Train was a question mark for Mainline.
Now, just returning to God B for a second, I know you said stats don't tell the whole story, and I'm wholeheartedly behind you, but actually, watching the game, you saw God B was making a lot of the important kills. There was, you know, quick 4Ks with his M4, that ridiculous Glock round. You know, this was God B making plays that in a normal team scenario he wouldn't have to make. But exceptional stuff from him, not enough to pick up the win. And I do want to just kind of harp on that Cash game again for NRG, because this is a map that they came into this incredibly confident versus Tempo. That was, you know, we heard in the interview that was where they wanted it to go. Proceeded to lose 16-4, 16-5. Yeah. Now they're here, and it doesn't look all that much better. It still seems like they were falling into the same traps. We talked about mid-control, and it's the same story again. I do want to address Peter not having the AWP very often. As soon as he gets it, he starts picking up 3Ks on their T side. Yeah,
that's a good point. Maybe they just didn't give enough time for him to work the round, but what I felt like was the main problem for them, and I hate, it's weird for me to say that about someone like Dobby, who you think would be like meticulous and have very dynamic playbook, but it seemed like, you know, going into their default, they would sometimes like group up for a full B hit and then go back and disperse across the map later into the round after they decided maybe it's not a good idea. Well, if you knew that was the play from the beginning, they would have put players on other parts of the map to make sure they can hold stuff down, right? Someone locking down A main so they know no one's pushed it. So if they do go back to their default, they don't actually have to clear a bunch of angles just to get back into a default again. So it seemed like they were doing things they didn't want to do and then changing their mind halfway through a round. And a lot of the times when they would 5-man something, it didn't seem like the best idea when they could have just taken advantage of mid first in the beginning, you know, without wasting much time just standing outside of a site.
Yeah, I mean, with that said, Selfless progress, and we'll have another opportunity, a chance at revenge versus Team Liquid. That's going to be fun. I mean, they pushed him to 16-10. I like what we saw from Selfless, specifically on Overpass. Was enjoyable to see they were these boosts towards Underpass you don't always see towards Party as well. Seems like they've got some synergy that we weren't necessarily expecting from quite a new roster. You can have to see the updated brackets and how things have played out so far. Goodbye to 2 different teams. NRG are gone, as are Splice, and now just 6 teams do remain. Looking forward to that Liquid Selfless game that's going to be played the last game of the day. You can see where we lost Splice to the CLG, and now they will proceed to be playing in our next game. Cloud9 versus CLG. That's going to be a big game. We're going to be hurrying things along so we get to bring that game to you extra soon. Any closing thoughts on that one before we do prepare for a quick break? Is there anything you want to harp on about, Yanko? You want to kind of pull any more teeth out of the North American scene, or are you good?
Please make less mistakes.
There you go. And on that bombshell, Yanko hoping to see less mistakes in CLG versus Cloud9. That will be our next game, and it is going to be a big one. A little bit different this time. Instead of me telling you what the Score eSports app does, we're going to show you. So you go ahead and watch this, and when we come back,